Good morning. I'm going to go over page 3 right now. It has the different clocks on it, and it wants you to first figure out what time it is on the clock, and then they say that they're going to be doing campfire songs 45 minutes from that time. So we have to add on 45 minutes to the current time on the clock. So first, let's talk about clocks. We didn't really get to that this year. I should have learned this already, but we'll just do an overview real quick. So remember, on the clock you've got 12 at the top, and it goes around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the bottom, and 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So you got 12 hours on the clock, and you have 2 hands. Well, sometimes they have 3, but we're not going to worry about the second hand right now. The short hand is the hour hand, and the longer hand is the minute hand. So if we were going to put our time here, I'll put the long hand pointing to the 8, and then the hour hand, or between the 3 and the 4, right there. So if you're looking at this time, I'd be thinking, okay, this minute hand is at the 8, and each of these is 5-minute intervals, because it's a total of 60 minutes in an hour. So you can think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we know that the minutes are 40. And since the hour hand is between the 3 and the 4, anything in between the two numbers is going to be 3 something. So it's 3:40 right now on this clock. If we're to do another one right here, let's put our minute hand pointing to the 11, and we'll put our hour hand almost at the 6, right down here. Okay, so minutes first. So we've gone around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 at 9, 50 at 10, 55 at 11. So it's 55, that's the minutes. And then the hour hand is almost at the 6. So it's not 6 o'clock yet. In 5 minutes, when the minute hand is at the 12, it will be 6. But right now it's still 5 o'clock. So it's 5:55. So some tricks about this is, one, if you just know your 5s, you can take any number around the clock. For instance, 9. It's really just 9 times 5, rather than having to count by 5s around the whole clock to get to whatever hand or number the hand is at. So if I saw, for instance, that the hand was pointing to the 10, I know that 5 times 10 is 50, so the minutes are 50. Another hint, like I said before, is that whatever time zone or time, here I'll erase this first so I can explain. This hour hand is between. This part right here is like 5 o'clock. Between the 6 and the 7 is 6 o'clock, and the 7 and the 8 is 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock. So check the minutes first, and then go and look to see where that hand is pointing in between what numbers. And if it is almost at the full top of the hour, it'll be almost on the next number. But don't let that fool you. So we'll do one more, and then we'll go on to our campfire song part of the problem. So if we had our hand pointing to, let's see, I'll make it over here, the 3, and I don't know. Okay, so let's look at the minute hand first. It's pointing to 3, so if I were to think 3 times 5 is 15, which means our minutes are 15. Meaning that it's 15 minutes past the top of the hour. And our hour hand right here is between the 10 and the 11. So it means that's 10 o'clock. And remember, these analog clocks don't have AM or PM, so it could be 10:15 AM and it could be 10:15 PM. You'd have to use your judgment on that one. Is it dark outside? Is it light outside? Okay, so it's 10:15, and the question now is, what time will campfire songs be at? So you're going to need to add 45 minutes to this, and you should just be able to add 45 to your to your time. So 10, 15 plus 45 minutes. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 makes 2. Or sorry, 1 plus 1 makes 2 plus 4 makes 6. So this is really 60 minutes. And then bring down the 10 for the hours. However, 1060 isn't actually a time, because remember there's 60 minutes in an hour. So you're going to have to think, okay, really this is saying that I've got an extra hour, and carry that over to your hour side now for 11 o'clock. So if you get a number here that's bigger than 60, anything bigger than 59, you have to bring that over. Just like when you're adding or subtracting, and you have to bring over, like if you get, 11 and you have to carry over the 1 to the next place value, it's like that with time, but it's with 60s instead. So let's do another example with that one. So let's say it's, our minute hand is pointing to the 7, and our hour is right here. Okay, so minutes, it's at the 7, so 5 times 7 is 35. And our hour is between the 1 and the 2, which means it's still 1 o'clock, so it's 1:35. All right, so if I add 45 minutes, put that in the minute side here. It's like ones and tens and hundreds. Here's my minutes, here's my hours. I have to keep those separate. And this colon in the center is kind of like the decimal. My 0 and my hours, and add it up. 5 plus 5 is 10. Drop the 0, carry the 1. I just do that like normal. Then 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So I know here 80 is bigger than 60. And I know that an hour would be 60 minutes. This is really like saying I have 20 minutes. I'm going to leave the 20 because 80 is really 20 plus 60. So I'm going to carry that 60 over. I'm going to leave the 20 down. So 20, carry the 1 hour. 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's really 2:20. And then I want to do one with it at 12 o'clock. We'll do one more. Let's see. Oops, that's not what. There we go. Okay. So our minute hand is pointing to the 10. 10 times 5 is 50, meaning our minutes are 50. And our hour is between the 11 and the 12, closer to the 12 because it's almost the top of the hour at 50. So it's 11:50. So let's add 45 minutes on now to get to what our camp songs are. We have our minutes and our hours with the colon in between. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. So we know here this is bigger. So let's see, 95 is really 60 plus, what, 35? 60 plus 35 is 95. So I'm going to take that 60 and carry it over. I'm going to leave the 35 down here. 35, and carry that hour over. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And drop the 1 down for 12:35. All right. And then let's do one more. I know I said that before, but I want to do one more. Okay, we'll put this hand at the... Okay, so... Our minute hand is pointing to the 6. 6 times 5 is 30. And our hour hand is between the 12 and the 1, which means it's 12 o'clock. So 12:30. So let's add 45 minutes onto that. So this is where our math breaks down. 0 plus 5 is 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. So if we break that apart, 75 is really 60 plus 15. So I'll leave the 15 down in the minutes, and I'll carry the 60 over to the hours. Carry my 1 over, drop my colons. 1 plus 2 is 3, and bring down the 1. Okay, so this is where, at this point, it doesn't work. So 13, 15, this would be if we were doing military time. They just go a full 24 hours, and then they go back to, like, 1 o'clock. But in like regular civilian life, we don't have a 13, 15. Instead, you have to know, okay, after 12 o'clock, we go back to 1 o'clock. So this is really 1:15, because 13 would be an hour after 12 o'clock. So if you do get a funky number, like say 13 something, you have to know that it's really talking about the hour after 12. But when we just add it like this, the math doesn't quite carry over. So hopefully you'll be able to get it all done easily, no problems. You all know how to be able to tell time, and you can just add the 45 minutes. But if you do have questions, please let me know. I am at your disposal if you have a question. Call or email me today.